And it says we are live. It's Thursday night. I'm here. You're beautiful. That must mean it's time for GotBot Goes Live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below, baby. Also in the description down below, if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit that join button at any given time and become a channel member. And boy, oh boy, do we have a bunch of news and notes, tidbits to really kind of go over tonight. A bunch of reveals, some possible cancellations, though I don't really think that they're cancellations per se. I think that that's something that's been, I think a lot of people have jumped on that bandwagon, but I'll discuss that a little bit later. Some news and notes from YOLOPARK, from threezero, from Bishujo. I hate trying to say those words. I'm terrible at the pronunciations of them. Pangu Toys. I think it's Pangu. Pangu. I don't know. However you want to pronounce it. And of course, some news and notes. Everything from studio series to selects to MP to maybe MPM. We'll talk about it all. I'm just going to get things slightly positioned and whatnot and ready to go. Hope you guys are having a tremendous week so far. Of course, we are heading toward the weekend being tomorrow. Hey Blue. Hey War. Oh, hello Omar. Hey Darren. I did not know you were from Texas. You and Input. That's two people I know from Texas. Fun fact, my dog Tessa came from Texas when we rescued her in 2020. She was in a kill shelter down there. So I'm very glad that we managed to get her safe and sound. So she traveled all the way from Texas to the most easterly point of North America, here in Newfoundland. So it was a long journey for her to get here. Because I don't care enough about what the proper pronunciation is, because I have zero interest in those products, Blue. That's why I don't use Google Translate for it. I don't care. I like the Bishu. Let's do the Bishujo thing now. So the Bishujo thing is a Sky Warp. It's going to be exclusive to Koto Bukiya shops in Japan. So I don't know if you like these girlified statues, I guess, of the Seekers, and you want that Sky Warp. I don't know how you're going to get it. I guess you got to find a way to import it from Japan or something. Again, I've said this a lot of times. I respect the detail. I respect the paint work and stuff, but I'm really uncomfortable. Like, I don't like these statues. I'm very uncomfortable looking at them because of what they represent. It's not for me. It's not at all for me. Might be for you, and if it is, good luck getting a Sky Warp to go with your Starscream, and I think the Thundercracker is out. Again, poor Skywarp, he's always an exclusive to something. So I don't know. Koto Bukiya shops. I guess it's a chain in Japan. I have no idea. I don't know. But yeah, if I cared enough about it, Blue, I might, but I really don't. And honestly, I really don't have the time to go trying to figure out how certain, foreign words of something that I'm not that interested in are pronounced. I don't think people understand how pressed my time generally is. I don't sit around. Like, I don't sit around. I've got some people, for example, who have been like, oh, maybe we could video chat or something. Like, I really don't have the time to go sitting around video chatting. And when I do have a few spare moments, I'm either trying to catch up on something or, quite frankly, I'm trying to spend some time with my wife. It's really as simple as that. I'm not just sitting around. I envy people who have that sort of time. It's just not me. Deluxe prices and local. Well, why don't we talk about that too? So the latest round of price hikes, yes, price hikes again, includes And again, these are coming from Toys R Us. They get pretty janky with stuff. And right now, they are the highest. They have just put their leaders back up to $84.99. As a matter of fact, right now, if you wanted to go and buy, for example, Leader Armada Megatron, he would be $84.99 plus 15% tax, sales tax here. So you're looking at basically $100 for that Leader Megatron. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I mean, the shoulders are, I guess he's fine, but I've seen a lot of people say like the shoulders just kind of flop over and are loose on him. We know now, I'll mention this too, because of the packaging of Tidal Wave, we're going to be getting a Galvatron repaint. Rumor has it that the shoulders have been reworked, redone, so that they shouldn't have the issue that the Megatron has. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. It looks like he has the Galvatron-y colors. I did review, courtesy of Maximal 10, the original Armada Galvatron, and other than the legs being limited, he's pretty great. I do know someone, I can't remember who it was now, who did a mod on the legs of the original Armada mold and made them articulated, and man, it was pretty cool mod, honestly. So yeah, I mean, that's one price. And deluxes are $39.99 plus tax now. At Toys R Us. So like I'm not even going to shop there. I'm not paying $40 for a deluxe. Like, think about it now. Legacy United Windblade, $40 plus tax. I'm sure she's great. But by the time you put 15% tax on that, you're looking at $47. Like almost a 50 spot for that Windblade. No, just no. I'm not willing to do that. That's a value proposition. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm priced out there. Not because I can't afford it. I can. But because I'm not paying that. I have more respect for myself and my money than that. And Voyagers, $54.99. I mean, no, just no. Like, that's ludicrous. They're not going to sell. The last time they did try these prices before, last year, I think. And I mean, stuff just rotted on the shelves of Toys R Us. None of it sold. Nobody went there. Their sales went down the toilet, and for some reason they're doing it again. I don't know what makes them think that it's going to work better this time. It's not. The company or the business that gets the idea of we're going to charge $10 less than MSRP, they're going to sell out like hotcakes. And I know what the cost per unit for a lot of this is. They'd still make a profit. Even if you sold it $10 less than MSRP here, you'd still make a profit because of what they're charging per unit wholesale, right? So anybody who thinks that the profit margins are real tight, they're not as tight as they'd like you to believe. But they're going to get tight now because their stuff's just not selling because they've gotten too greedy. But that was a very loaded question, Blue. I hope that answered it, at least from my neck of the woods. I can't speak for other folks. Donnie's representing Detroit. Growing up, all of our U.S. stations were from Detroit here. I always wondered what that city was like. Hey, Jason. I saw the short with Tessa today. Yeah, there was I don't know if it was just one short. I don't know. I feel like we'd done a little vlog thing when we went on the trip to Tessa. I feel like I've done a few shorts then, but yeah, she's our girly. I know I am against the anime girl statues, and not to bash on through Adams, but we'll be fight for that Skywarp statue like the last Energon and I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt he's gonna go searching that deep for it. Somebody might send it to him though. Nah, you're not late at all, Waspinator. We're just getting going, man. Just getting going. Haven't bought any Transformers in a while. I'm curious if anyone got anything new recently. Yes, yours truly. And we're going to look at some of it tonight, but not all of it. Just got Origins Jazz today. Can't wait for Wheeljack. Yeah, Origins Jazz is great. I got Origins Jazz. Where is he? He's back down right there, kind of in behind the laser cycle guy. He's fantastic. I really enjoy Origins Jazz. As for Origins Wheeljack, why don't we get that piece of news out of the way now too, since Omar brought it up. So Origins Wheeljack, we had, and I'm just going to find my notes on it because I might as well. We had Mark Mara giving the like design notes and stuff that he likes to do. The blast shield can work as an air glider, or you can lay it out flat and it becomes like a piece of like Cybertronian road, or of course it can wrap around the outside of Wheeljack, just like it was in that first episode. So I think that's really cool. He calls it a racetrack when it's off. He said the transformation is just like the way that Wheeljack transforms when he's in that mode on the TV show. So if you watch the show and you see how Wheeljack transforms, apparently the Origins Wheeljack is going to transform the exact same way. So that's kind of cool. B can story, you got to flip up his little wing pieces. We knew that. But his Energon rods, they can also go fit onto Wheeljack, which is really cool. I like that. He has two little buzzsaws on the front bumper, basically. They can become Dominator discs, whatever exactly that is. Yet, here's the best part. If you look at the vehicle mode, Wheeljack's vehicle mode is noticeably bigger than Jazz's and Bumblebee's, as it should be. He's a Voyager, not a Deluxe. But what's really interesting is when you transform him to Robot, he's actually the same height as Jazz, which means he'll scale correctly. However, because he does have a big backpack and because he does have a lot of junk on his legs, we should realize that he may very well be an actual Voyager with the mass, instead of being represented in his height, the mass is probably represented with a more dense body. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I'll be super disappointed if I get this guy and he's not a true blue Voyager. Real disappointed. But let's hope that doesn't happen. Because honestly, Omar, I'm right there with you, buddy. I can't wait. Jazz is my boy. Not Jazz. Wheeljack is my boy. He is my boy. So I cannot wait to kind of round that out. Anybody who knows me knows Wheeljack is my guy, right? Let's go on down here. Hey, Ultra Megatronus. Hey, Lance. Big M. Hey, DJ. I miss Toys R Us. Man, don't even worry about it. I mean, if they're no better than Toys R Us here, don't worry about it. Trust me. I miss Target. Target had the best deals, man. When stuff went on sale at Target, it went on sale at Target. Walmart hated it. Toys R Us hated it. That's why they choked Target out of Canada. Yeah, Canadian Deluxe. 40 now at Toys R Us. For the record, even outside of Toys R Us, right now they're sitting somewhere at around $36, $37.99. So it's not a lot cheaper. I tend to, if I get deluxes, I tend to either go to a local comic shop that's a couple of dollars cheaper, or I go to somewhere like GameStop where you can use your Edge card. Although I've heard they're getting rid of the Edge discount, which means that's going to be something else that's just going to price me out. I mean, I'm not willing to pay that. I don't think that here's the thing. Somebody said in response to the picture that I'm using for this week's countdown question, which is smoothest, most enjoyable transformations. Interestingly, the voting so far is tracking similar, not the same, but similar to when we did the top 10 best engineered offerings. It's interesting that smoothest is tracking similar to best engineered. Anyway, in that picture, I do have Top Spin and Twin Twist from Titans Return. Somebody said, oh, they're great. Too bad they didn't have ankle tilt. Otherwise, they'd have been fabulous. And I was like, they were and are still fabulous. You got to remember, while they may not have had ankle tilt, they literally have everything else. And instead of being $40, they were $17.99. Big, less than half the price. I mean, I'm sorry. Top Spin and Twin Twist are better than a lot of what we've gotten in recent times. Like, I like Chase, but to say that Legacy United Chase is anywhere in the same ballpark or anywhere close to as good as Twin Twist and Top Spin is just not true. And he was more than double the price, right? So something to be said for it, right? 20 people, only 4 likes. That's because a lot of people don't like me, Ultra Megatronus, because I ruffle a lot of feathers, and people don't like when you ruffle feathers. Toys R Us and Macy's. Almost picked up Legacy. I love Legacy Skullgrin. A lot of people don't. I think he's great. Deluxes in the UK are about 24 these days. I grew up watching some stations from Canada here, right? That's how I got to watch BBC. Yeah, because it's, of course, BBC Canada, right? What always struck me so so crazy when I used to watch the American stations was how, like, I see, like, your news broadcasts because, you know, I mean, I'd see your news broadcasts, and it was always just local news, local news, local news. It was like, man, how do people know what's going on across the rest of your country or around the rest of the world? It was very interesting to watch that stuff. Um, Jason is from Detroit. Look at that. Small world. Hey, Nar, just got 86 sweep today. Really like them. Yeah, the 86 sweeps were fantastic. Whether you get the sweep or whether you get Scourge, honestly, it doesn't matter because there's an argument for both color schemes being right, and the mold is just fantastic. Really, really fantastic. Enjoy, man. Hey, Jay. Hey, Brian. If you hear Starscream wife laughing, she's watching Spider-Man No Way Home. I know you're not too keen on getting the Earthbound pack, but hear me out for a moment. If any you get, you will have insurance if one or no, Blue, no, stop. The 5-pack is an insult and a slap in the face to fans. Let's talk about the 5-pack. So the only thing we've seen so far from the 5-pack is this guy. I already have this guy. I got him for $29.99 in Earthrise. I thought that was too expensive then, but this guy does have the mass, and he does have the paint, and he does have it all. Some clown said, I can't wait to get the new one so that it doesn't crumble to dust like the Earthrise will. It's not going to. He said, yeah, it is the clear plastic. I said, look, I get that a lot of people have problems with clear plastic. I understand it. I know it has a reputation. But I also know chemically, it is touted as being as strong, if not stronger, than other plastics. In fact, and I've said this before here, there's actually snow shovels that are made out of the clear plastic because it's known to be stronger and get a lot of snow. I'm fine with it. Now, if you're not, cool. If you want the solid, cool. I understand that. But this guy then came back and he was like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. There's different types of plastic. And I'm like, yes. And we're talking about the clear plastic. Chemically, it's the same plastic. It's the chemical makeup. So that guy's a clown, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. But no, Blue, here's the thing. That 5-pack here, I can confirm, speaking of prices, I can confirm that the 5-pack here is going to be $160 plus tax. For a Jazz, I already have. For a Sunstreaker, I already have. For a Trailbreaker, I already have. By the way, since we've seen that selects Trailbreaker, I guess there's an argument for his color, but I find the gray on him weird. I do, however, like that it's more uniform because I think the paint and the plastic here don't quite match. So I do like that that's more uniform. I also like that he doesn't have the white outline on his Autobot logo. If you, for some reason, don't have this guy or don't have Jazz or don't have Sunstreaker or whoever the fourth one is, then yeah, there might be more of a draw here. But to pay $160 plus 15% tax, so we're teetering on $200 for 4 bots I already have. For 1 bot that I'd like to have, it's ludicrous. It's preposterous. I have nothing against package refreshes, nothing against reissues. Do them. Do it, man. But it shouldn't be done as a multi-pack. It absolutely was the wrong call to make. I get that they're doing it because they want to put him out and they want him to be an exclusive. And Target in the US said we don't want to have single carded characters anymore because they haven't sold well, except for a couple of them. Hound would have sold well. They are going to lose many, 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 many sales by putting him in a multi-pack. I really hope he gets a package refresh. I put Detritus. Do you hear? I put detritus on my list of best of 2023 because I said he's so good, he has me that much more excited for Hound. And I can guarantee you right now, because of the insulting way that Hasbro is going about rolling this release out, and it is insulting. Make no mistake, if you're not insulted by it, you should be. Because they're being so insulting with the way that they're rolling this out, I'm not buying it. It's as simple as that. I'll stick with my Classics Hound because I don't need this that bad, not to pay almost $200 for 4 molds that I already have. By the way, not for nothing, if your big sell is that these are solid and don't use the clear plastic, I have to be honest. My Studio Series 86 Ironhide that has the clear plastic is infinitely better tolerance than my solid dead Ironhide. Same with my Prowl. My Prowl from the Earthrise 2-pack, infinitely better tolerance than the one from the dead Prowl 2-pack. And the Cliff Jumper. Both of them are pretty good, but I can tell you that the tolerances on the one with the clear plastic are tighter than the tolerances on the one that's all solid. Make of that what you will, but that's 3 offerings, and I can tell you now that in all 3 cases, at least with the copies I have, you might have different experience, but with the copies I have, in all 3 cases, the ones with the clear plastic are toleranced better. Make of that, like I said, what you will. I'm disappointed, really disappointed in this announcement, really disappointed in this rollout. Like, it's taking a lot of wind out of my sails, man. A lot of wind out of my sails. Very sad. Speaking of, since we got it here, going on with the news, right? Speaking of Sunstreaker, we know that we're getting a Studio Series Bumblebee movie concept art Sunstreaker. So that Sunstreaker was not in the film. It is based on concept art. I think it looks pretty good. A lot of yellow. I would like on that one. I mean, here's the thing. I look at that one and I wouldn't have known it was Sunstreaker except for the head. I think the head is really good. I think they nailed that really well, especially the little wing pieces on the side. I think that the black, the way they did the black on the forearms, also acceptable. The way the chest, the window looks, that's all right. Now, somebody said, see, Hasbro, it's not hard to match the paint to the plastic. Here's the thing. Under certain light and in certain pictures, his paint matches the plastic just fine. But under other light, in daylight, it doesn't. So do I believe that this paint and this plastic is going to be any better of a match than this? Hopefully, but I'm not going to count on it. I do wish that the lower legs of the new one had more black. And I do find the orange on his shoulders a little bit off-putting. Same with the orange on his hips, I suppose. But I do think the car mode looks really cool. Really cool. I'm not getting it because I have this guy. I already got a Sunstreaker. And I'm not, I haven't been in for the Bumblebee movie guys. If you have the RC and the Wheeljack and the Brawn and the Ratchet and the Bumblebee and the Ironhide, then why wouldn't you get the Sunstreaker? Why not? That said, I found it very interesting that they're kind of really, I think, trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel with Studio Series, and it seems like they're actively trying to steer clear of Bayverse releases, even though a lot of people are calling for them, because the Bumblebee movie aesthetic is something that's popular. The Bumblebee movie aesthetic is something that harkens back to the G1 fans again and again. Anybody who's like, stop catering to the G1s. You need to support whatever part of the product you like as much or more than the G1 fans. And I can guarantee you that a G1 fan is looking at this Sunstreaker and saying, yeah, okay, so I have the, say, Earthrise, that's my Earth mode. I'm going to get this one because that's his Cybertronian mode. And they're going to do it because it's a Sunstreaker. I don't hate it. I think it has a cool looking bot mode. I think it has a cool looking car mode. I just don't need it. If it happens in my hands so I can take a look at it, great. I feel like it's going to be a great Sunstreaker. It's not for me necessarily, but I feel like it's going to be a great Sunstreaker. And hopefully I'll get a chance to explore that mold at some point. We already talked about Sunstreaker. Pangu Toys, they are doing a 1.5 foot. Actually, it's more like 17.7 inches. Optimus Prime. He has LED eyes. It's a new mold. He's gigantic. I mean, he's the size of Cell, right? He's the size of that Unicron, basically. He's the size of bigger than Make Toys Utopia, about the size of the Cian Culture Metroplex. So he's a big boy. He's a big Optimus Prime if you're into gigantic Optimus Primes, I suppose. We already talked about the Trailbreaker. I'll also note that if you like the Allspark blue on the windows, cool. I do like that because one of the problems that I did have with this guy is when it comes to his trailer, I didn't like that this was black and black and black and black, and that this little bit up here was black and the back here was black. This is one of the rare occasions when I actually use toy hacks and I found them good. Usually my experience is I don't like toy hacks because I find they peel. And his windshield one in here is not on perfectly, but it's close enough. I also wish that this little piece here was gray instead of black. It'll be black on the Selects one. And this square, that's going to be mostly gray on the Selects one, which I think is right. This is a resin cast of the satellite dish thing. That's an extra accessory from that Centurion pack. So, you know, I understand the appeal of the new one, but like I'm not double dipping. There's no need of it. There's no point to it. But I understand if either you do, I guess, or more accurately, if you miss the molds. Like I was talking to somebody and they were like, you know what? I really need about 3 of those molds. If you need 3 out of 5, then probably it's worth it to you. But I can almost guarantee you what's going to happen. A lot of people are going to buy that for the Hound, and then they're going to say, I'm going to sell the other 4, or they're going to keep those, and they're going to sell their previous Earthrise ones. And then you're going to get a glut. All of a sudden, it'll be all of these Earthrise Sunstreakers, all of these Earthrise Trailbreakers, all of these Studio Series 86 Jazzes, and so on and so forth. I don't know if that strategy is going to work. I think there's going to be a glut in the market, and people are going to get stuck with a lot of extra product in hand. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. The Armada Galvatron I already talked about. I like that color scheme. I think it looks really cool. I don't know the mold, so I can't comment any more than that. Also shown this week was Gears. Gears, Legacy United Gears. Remember, he was supposed to be canceled from Kingdom? Not that he got canceled. He got pushed, delayed. My guess is they probably had to go back and rework some of the engineering or something. That's usually why stuff gets pushed back. Look at Swoop. Swoop was supposed to be the 3rd Dinobot released. Instead, he's going to be the 5th, and it's going to be supposedly in April. Word has it that the reason Swoop got delayed is because they were trying to balance the weight and the durability and stuff of the wings and the transformation of them. So, you know, they had to go back and fix some engineering stuff. I think that is kind of the case with Gears. I think this Gears looks pretty darn good. Now, the original Gears from the Generations line was $7.99 a long time ago. $7.99 here. That's when a Legends class was $7.99. Man, oh man, oh man. And he came with a or a little Target Master, Micromaster dude. I don't remember which one came with him now. That one, a lot of people weren't happy with. In fact, a lot of people went with the Mech Fans Toys version, but that was still about $40. I didn't, because how can I replace something that I paid $8 for that's quite functional and justify $40? I couldn't do it. But that one I always thought was very much toy accurate. I don't think the head is really accurate to anything. But if you look at the toy and you look at the Generations one, there's a lot of similarities there. The new one, the Legacy United, is definitely more animation accurate. Now, some people said he's perfect. Now, can we not get fast and loose with the term perfect? He's pretty good. Pretty good. But he has 2 great gray hinges, I guess, on his ribs. They shouldn't be there. Those hinges should have been cast in red. It's a lot like the hinges on the side of Ultra Magnus, those white ones that I said should have been cast in red. The back of his legs are blue, and I understand why they're blue, and I don't have a problem with it. But in the animation, the entire leg is red. So that's not quite animation accurate. The elbows are gray. They should be blue. Why they weren't cast in blue, I don't know. And the hands, instead of being gray, should be black. So there are imperfections to him, But man, I gotta say, looking at it, he mostly jumped off the page. I mean, I'm very comfortable now without even having him in hand. I'm very comfortable now saying that his score for his, for his, I guess, his paint apps, his look, his coloration is going to be about an 8.75. You definitely know it's Gears. It's very good, but there's some things that shouldn't be the color that it is. Make of that what you will. I'm looking forward to him. I think he looks pretty good. Tidal Wave pre-orders went up, and a lot of people in the US are saying no, even though a lot of people in the US are saying yes. Those that are saying yes are all in, and honestly, I would say if you are a Unicron Trilogy fan, then frankly, you really need to go in on it. Again, you need to support the Unicron Trilogy part of the product as much or more than what the G1ers support the G1 part of the product, which means you already in your collection should have Starscream, and you should already have Armada Megatron and the Armada Optimus and Cybertron Metroplex. All of that should at least those things should be in your collection already. And now you're going to have to get Tidal Wave. I looked at the Tidal Wave, and I get why people are saying no, because he's $199 US, $299 Canadian, by the way. So again, he's 300. He's 19 inches. He's the height of the Ark. My Metroplex, that's 2 feet tall and came with 3 accessories and an extra little character and a sticker sheet, was $90. This is $300. And granted, I prefer the paint apps than the sticker sheet. Wildly prefer that. But there's no little minion character. He doesn't have any accessories per se, though admittedly, he does have those smaller parts like inside his torso that go attached to Megatron or Galvatron. But if you don't have Megatron or Galvatron, then those pieces are kind of useless, right? They're accessories that are very specific, not to the Tidal Wave character that you're buying, but you would have to have a different character to make them usable. That's striking me a bit bothersome. Even the Ark had mainframe in there, a deluxe class mainframe. I mean, the Nemesis didn't have, I don't think, any smaller bot. I noticed that, and now this one doesn't. I don't know, man. I mean, you have to support it if you're a Unicron Trilogy fan. I'm glad I'm not. I don't think that, I've said this before, I don't think Titan is at all the right size class for Tidal Wave at all. Not even a little bit. Commander class, I think you would have had a lot more sales. I know you would have had one from me. Again, how many times now tonight have I said you're missing out on sales, baby? And you are. You're missing out on sales. That said, though, I do think that the Tidal Wave looks the part. He looks real good, but he's a steep price tag, especially when you add tax on. And if you order him online, you probably got to add shipping. And trust me, as somebody who has had a Titan shipped, Titan shipping can run you. I mean, not astronomical, but it runs you a little bit of cheddar, Let's talk for a second about Masterpiece with MP58 Hound. Hoist. Now I have the Earthrise Hoist, and I like this guy. Is he perfect? No, because I admit that the whole arm and this piece here, all of that should be white. And it is on the MP58. Same over on this arm, right? Down kind of, hold on, see if I can turn this down under the silver, and on the top of the foot, that should also be kind of white, or at least silver. The rest of this is fine and matches him fine. I do find that the hip movement on the Masterpiece, forward and back, is very weird. Effective, wide range of motion, but it looks really strange. He is surprisingly quite a bit shorter than Trailbreaker. His detailing on the doors is very different, but here's the thing that kills me with it. I looked at the alt mode, and I'm like, why does he have no side windows? That looks really strange. And I never noticed it before, but I think that's animation accurate. And I think the side windows that this guy actually has, that I always thought Hoist had, I don't think that's animation accurate. But why would you have a tow truck that doesn't have side windows? It looks so strange. Really, really, really weird. So I'm not sure which is accurate. Maybe it's both accurate. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys know. Um, oh, and that one has a orange hinge here, which is actually animation accurate. It should be an orange hinge here, not green. So I think I like the green. I think I like the green. Starscream wife over there talking away to herself. We already talked about that. New Jersey Collector Con is going to be March 2nd and technically March 3rd, but March 3rd is actually going to be the East Coast G.I. Joe, I guess, Super Show. So it's funny. Before, the New Jersey Collector Con was always 2 days. This time it seems like it's going to be 1 day, with the second day being more of a G.I. Joe event, right? And it's, rather than mostly Transformers related, they're just calling the first day like an action figure con, I guess. Very, very interesting way that that's going marketed this time. YOLOPARK, they showed off their AMK minis again at 10 to 12 centimeters. A couple of new points that I didn't talk about before. They have 14 points of articulation. They will be pre-painted and pre-assembled. They're about the size of, if you know this, say Studio Series Deluxe Rise of the Beast Mirage or Nightbird. So they're basically like deluxe-ish size. Really good movement. It's like if Action Masters were given better articulation and upgraded to be a deluxe size. That's what the AMK minis are like, right? I do think some of the proportions are a little weird, but I do think they look really good too. So make of it what you will. We talked about a Skywarp earlier. Well, threezero, it had the pre-orders go up earlier today for their M Deluxe Starscream. So this is the one that is their affordable one, using the Starscream mold, and now it's done in Skywarp colors. It looks like he has two faces, a stoic one and an open mouth one, maybe laughing, it looks like to me. His purple, his black, his white, and the silver, it all plays off real nice. I think I like the look of the Skywarp better than the look of the Starscream, but I mean that's just me. Maybe you think differently. We talked about Masterpiece with Hoist there a moment ago. Well, what about MPM? Just before we went on air, we had a new picture service of a possible movie masterpiece, Brawl. Now, this looks like a test shot done in like those wacky colors, like there's blue and green and yellow. And all we saw was a picture in tank mode. I gotta believe, maybe even now as we're hearing the show, there might even be confirmation of it, but I gotta believe we're going to get confirmation of a movie masterpiece, Brawl, soon. And quite frankly, I hope it's a success. The Studio Series Brawl was quite good, really quite interesting and quite fun to do. And I think back to the Ironhide, and the Studio Series Ironhide was great. The movie masterpiece was utter garbage. Both barricades were pretty great, I gotta say. I've heard that no, you know what? The Megatron was good too. Movie masterpiece has been hit or miss. I hope that this is a hit. I think the tank mode looks great for Brawl. I really hope the robot mode is great too for people that are into the movie masterpiece line. We saw more Magmatron pictures. He was on display in Japan. Not much really to talk about there. Not as much of a backpack as I would have thought, but I do find the angling of the Seasaur's head is back a little bit before it comes out over the shoulder. I feel like that's going to get pushed ahead a lot, and the head's going to come out further and jut out further than it should. Time will tell. I'm not angry about it by any stretch of the imagination, but there's a lot going on with Magmatron. I think he's going to be nuts to transform. I really do. Hope he's fun. Hope he's fun. Dr. Wu showed off their Micromaster Optimus Prime again. Man, they've repainted that a ton of times. This time they showed him off as Dead Optimus in his grays and blacks with his battle damaged chest windows and stuff. And then one that they're calling Fading Spark Optimus. So it's the Dead Optimus with the broken glass and stuff, but he's still red and blue. And it's like, I don't want to call it a pale, it's like a dull red and blue. If you've ever watched Transformers Prime and the episode where there's Nemesis Prime, that I think is controlled by Silas, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Optimus, but his colors are duller. Like his red isn't as vibrant of a red. It's a dull red. The blue isn't as vibrant of a blue. It's a dull blue. Well, this is the same sort of thing. So I think it's supposed to be, here's Optimus in the midst of dying. Here is Optimus dead. They're a bit morbid, but okay, you do what you gotta do, Dr. Wu. You do what you gotta do. Unit Square, they showed a full color version of their G1 bust. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, they did a G1 bust. It's a bit stylized of Optimus Prime. It's his shoulders, his torso, his head. No arms, no waist, no legs. It's a bust, right? It was first shown at ACG Hong Kong earlier in 2023. I remember talking about the gray prototype then and saying that the molding looked tremendous. When you see the, I guess, the final images, the paint looks very premium, very much like car paint, right? Very, got that sheen to it, right? Apparently, not only does he have LEDs, of course, like in his eyes and some of his lights and stuff, no big shock there, but apparently he has 20 moving parts for display options. Who knew? And he clocks in at 518 grams of plastic. I mean, 518, you are a little bit under the territory of, say, Commander Class. Commander Class should probably be about, by rights, Commander Class should be about 650 or so. To be fair, the Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus was only 525, but he had a lot of extra parts and stuff. So we're talking about a Commander Class amount of plastic used, right? That's what mass tells us, the amount of plastic used, really. And this will be 109 US. I don't think that's unreasonable. This is a third party. It is in the ballpark of what a Commander Class would be, and it's in the mass of what a Commander Class would be. Granted, this is a bust. It's a completely different type of product, but I think the pricing is reasonable and makes sense. Make of that what you will. Good on Unit Square, by the way, for being reasonable with their pricing. The 5-pack, I already talked about that. And the price hikes, I already talked about that. We're going to go back. No, actually, you know what? That's our last piece of news. Let's do our last piece of news. And then I'll check in with you guys, and we'll do the trivia, and then we'll do the unboxing. Get out of here. The last piece of news relates to canceled Transformers. First, I wanted to note the way that this was done. And even JT Prime 17, who brought this news up, said that he wasn't sure if this was canceled or what. And everybody was like, oh, no, these are canceled. Because people like to jump on bandwagons and not read the full thing. Trust me, I get it every week with the voting. I've still had people today who voted for hardest to transform. I'm like, dude, it's right there if you read it when the voting ended. The date is right there. Right there. And you're saying it now. And they're like, oh, I didn't read it. Well, that's on you. People didn't read this. What JT Prime 17 said is, I don't know if they're canceled or what, but there have been changes to the solicitations that have been sent to retailers. So basically, Hasbro communicated a change in what was going to be part of the Wave lineup, right? My guess is you're going to get some package refreshes in there. For Studio Series, The Last Night Drift is not going to be forthcoming, at least. He was supposed to be in April. I guess he's not going to be in the April wave. And the Rise Lifeline. My guess is the Last Night Drift probably needs more working, and they're going to delay it. My guess is the Rise was coming out too soon. They've already done the 2-packs. My guess would be that this Lifeline may get moved to one of those 2-packs for Reactivate, or might just get delayed until they do until they do Rise in Studio Series Gamer Edition. And since we now know that Rise is being delayed because I think they're changing to like the Unreal Engine 5 or something. They probably said, you know what? We already got 2-packs out of Starscream and Bumblebee, which, by the way, I watched T-Fan Page 101's review of that 2-pack. The B is pretty hefty, but boy, oh boy, there's something interesting going on there too. We'll talk about it in a second. But we already have a 2-pack of B and Starscream and a 2-pack of Optimus and Soundwave. Maybe that's enough for a game that's delayed. Do you remember the fiasco that was G.I. Joe Retaliation, with the entire toy line coming out a year before the film? And the film suffered for it, and the toy line suffered for it. So I think they're trying to learn from the past. I think we're going to eventually see Lifeline in Studio Series Gamer Edition, but it might be this time next year. I don't think they're canceled. I think they're delayed. We'll see. Maybe they are canceled, but I think they're more delayed. So the Bumblebee, well, the Starscream is a big Voyager, so kudos there. But the Bumblebee, when Brian was talking about it, it took me right back to 2019. In 2019, when Canada had a 33% price jump in deluxes, I said then, that's ridiculous. This is nuts. This is insane and unreasonable. Power of the Primes was 19, and all of a sudden Siege is 29. That's nuts. And everybody said, oh, GotBot, stop being a complainer. These are so much fantastically better. And I said, all they've done is stop using ball joints and gone back to hinge and swivel. Enjoy it while it lasts, because before too long, we're going to be back to ball joints again. But I bet the prices won't go down. And here we are, because that Bumblebee has ball joints at the shoulders, ball joints at the elbows, ball joints at the ankles. All you need them is the hips and knees, and you're right back to Power of the Primes. But instead of paying $20, now they're charging $40, double the price. Or if you go back to when hinge and swivel was lost for ball joints in the first place, when we had Universe and Classics that led way to, I don't know, Generations, that's when we started seeing more ball joints again, and the prices there were $12, $13. So now we're almost 3 times that. It's nuts, man. It's crazy. Keep an eye on it. You're the consumer. Just saying. So I don't think they're canceled. Then we get to United, and the Core Class Dinobot has been removed from solicitations. I think that that's a very strange release anyway, a Core Class Dinobot. He might be canceled, probably because a lot of people were scratching their head. I mean, we got that excellent Voyager in Kingdom. Why would you want a Core Class Dinobot? I don't know. It's weird to me. And the one that got everybody in a tizzy, Sure Shot, the last of the Autobot Target Masters. I don't believe for a second that he won't be done. I think that people have been so unhappy with the top Target Master that was included with Point Blank, and so unhappy with the arms, the engineering of the arms of Point Blank. I think that people have been so unhappy with the craptacular Zigzag and Sunbeam that came with Needle Nose that I think that they are going back and saying, man, we have to do something a little bit better because people are not happy with this. And I have no doubt that Sure Shot was very much in the vein of Point Blank and Needle Nose with the same weaknesses. I don't believe for a second Sure Shot is canceled. I believe he is getting a delay. I could be wrong. I really hope I'm not. I hope that there's more delays here, kind of like happened with Gears. So we might have to wait a couple of years, few years, because I mean, Kingdom was 22. No, 21. 21. Wait, no. Siege was 20. No, Siege was 19. 20. Yeah, 21. So Kingdom was 2021, which means Gears got delayed from that. By the way, I haven't heard anything about a Polar Claw. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a Polar Claw. Anyway, let's move down. So yeah, you might have to wait 3 years to get that Sure Shot or something, but I think he's going to come. As we go down her a little bit. Hey, Manitoba! Delivery of NBK King of Gatling and listening on a freezing drone. Is that the one that turns into the Megatron? I've heard about it. I assume that's the one that turns into the Megatron. I haven't really followed it too much. I wasn't blown away by the Prime because I didn't like the shoulder assembly. I mean, I transformed it fine, but it was, I think I was more careful with it because I knew that the shoulders had a reputation for breaking, and I wanted to make sure that didn't happen. But to say that I wasn't sweating bullets doing the shoulders would be a lie. Seems Hasbro is doing Rock Lords, so they need to do Super GotBot Simon. Okay, Zeman. I mean, they're not doing Rock Lords, really, Darren. It's actually it's really interesting. We're gonna revisit that. I mean, Rock Lords is one of the things there, but I wouldn't call them Rock Lords. Rock Lords turned into rocks, and their robot modes were very different. This is something else. They might be made out of rock, but this is something I think wholly unique. I mean, to actually do GoBots, they can't. They can't do GoBots because they only hold, I'll say, part of the license. I think Bandai holds the other part. It's complicated. Um, Hey, Frenzies! Toys R Us had more toy variety here than most stores, but they were always overpriced. To me, if it's overpriced, then that ruins it, but that's just me. There are no Hasbro products in Toys R Us out here. Interesting. Oh, that went down. Oh, heavens to Betsy, that went down. Hold on, guys. Hold on. How far back do I have to go here? I've never done this. I pretty much went through all of the news first, and now I'm going back through the chat here and getting caught up. I still got the OG Tidal Wave. I reviewed that one, and I mean, like the Dark Fleet is cool. That Tidal Wave is cool. A couple of articulation limits, but honestly, I think that was the right size for Tidal Wave, and I wish that's why I said Commander, because he's about Commander size, and I was like, man, that's the right size for him. Makes perfect sense to me. Hey, Input. Hey, Hot Wheels. If you live in the US, BBTS is good. If you live outside the US, they're not that great. I'm not getting Tidal Wave for that ridiculous price. Nemesis has issues from what I've seen and was $199.99 before tax. Not worth my time or money. I'll be interested to see what Toys R Us tries to charge for Tidal Wave. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say they're gonna try and charge $349.99. Let's see how close I am. 200 for Tidal Wave is a tough one to swallow, especially since he should have been Commander class and like half that price. Just saying. I might get Tidal Wave, but if I do, then I'll have to get Megatron. See, exactly, and that's what I don't like about it. You get him, well, now you got to get this other one. I don't know. I don't know why she's watching now. I'm True G1er, but has a soft spot for Armada. Watched it with my oldest son. He loved Tidal Wave, so yes, I pre-ordered him. I mean, to each their own, right? It's a bit different when you have a link with your kid. I can't watch Unicron Trilogy. I own it. I own Unicron Trilogy, and periodically I've tried to watch it, but like I've given up on it. It's so bad. The voice acting, the voice direction is just terrible. The dialogue is the worst of any show I've ever seen. I find it unwatchable. I really do. And it's a shame because I know it has its fans. I can't even follow the story because they go off on all these gobbledygook tangents and it's just so stilled. I feel bad for even the voice actors because what they had to work with and try and deliver under the timeline that they had to try and deliver under because Hasbro was really rushing production, it suffered so much for it. I have to believe that the actual Japanese version is a lot more refined and polished than what we got in North America. I have to believe it. I can't watch it. It's like IDW. I can't read it. I got the Armada Megatron, Starscream, and Hot Rod. Can't find Prime anymore. What? There was a Hot Shot. I forgot about him being out. Yeah, I forgot about him being out. Yeah, you got to have him too. Actually, you got to have both of him because the G1ers would buy the one that comes with the little mini con just to get the mini con. And then they try and sell probably the other guy, would be my guess. You got to have it all. You know, you got to have it all. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to push the product on you, but I always hear people say, like, why do they keep going back to G1? Why do they keep going back to G1? Because G1ers are insane and will buy anything. A lot of them, I think, have very serious addiction to toys. Really, some of them really serious addiction. Not everybody, but some people really do. Like I know a dude who has three of the Laser Optimus, the Scourge, and the Toxitron. 3. That's 9 leader class of the exact same mold. 1 for alt mode, 1 for bot mode, 1 in box. That's how insane G1ers are. You need to be that level of insane. If you're not going to do that, then Hasbro is going to say that their money and their meal ticket is still G1. I'm not like that, but there are a lot of G1ers that are. I think it's getting less and less. I think a lot more people now are starting to get their head screwed on right because life is tough and expensive. But you still got some men that are going, whoo. I mean, 3, that's a lot. That's a lot. By the way, mainframe from the Ark was a Voyager, a solid one. Was he Voyager? I thought he was Deluxe. Maybe he was Voyager. I don't remember. But yeah, again, like you had another full-size bot with it, right? Even go back to Triptychon over here. I mean, he had a full Deluxe, full tilt. Like, how come you don't have that now? How come when we had the Cybertron Metroplex, you didn't get Drillbit? Is that his name, Drillbit? You should have got him. There was no reason not to. Maybe Hoist was converted from an old Toyota U-Haul truck. Maybe. Hey, Moose. I understand the argument that Armada fans need to support the Unicron Trilogy stuff, but Hasbro also needs to make quality Unicron Trilogy figures as well, which is the other problem. It is a problem. You're right. But again, G1ers will buy it even if it's crap because it's G1. How many Universe Galvatrons still sold despite the reputation? Loads. Because people said, I need a Galvatron. And that's the thing. People don't say, I want. People will say, I need. In fact, some people will say need with capital letters. I need a Galvatron. And they went and they got that one, even though it was garbage. I've been guilty of it to have a stand-in before. I don't do it anymore, but there was a time I did, and I shouldn't have. I should have waited for the product that I wanted. But I didn't. And a lot of G1 fans didn't and haven't and still don't. And unfortunately, that's what they need from other segments. I would say the same thing. Like if you're a Beast Force fan, you need to make sure to be crazy in whatever they do Beast Force. If you're a Prime fan, you have to be crazy in whatever they do for Prime. Animated, same thing. Whatever it is, you have to be a bigger market segment than G1 or as big as G1. That's what you've got to do if you want them to keep doing it. It's unpalatable to say. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's also the truth because that's how business works, right? Numbers, math doesn't lie, right? Like SSDCC? I don't know what SSDCC is. Do you mean SDCC? Soundwave Sideburn, same line, and then newer stuff like Reactivate Prime. And I'm not sure what you're saying there. I'm missing something. Sorry, Hot Wheels. Really want a toy colors version of the new Tidal Wave. I mean, it might come out in selects. I don't know why anybody wants the new Tidal Wave, but that's just me. But I hear you. You and Input, toy accurate guys, right? MP Hoist vehicle mode is a real Toyota 4-wheel drive Hilux tow truck. Okay, but does that have open windows and part of the roof not there? Like, I'm confused why that's there. That seems very weird. I don't know anything about cars. Is that the way that car is? Super Robot Ed? I don't know. I know that I put the key in the ignition and the car goes. But like, I would be like the worst witness because I would never ever be able to tell you make and model. They all literally look the same to me. Same thing, like we live in a city and my wife will tell you my sense of direction is dog shit. It really, really is, because subdivisions and stuff, literally everything looks exactly the same to me. Exactly the same. I don't pick out the differences. Let's see. That Soundwave turns into a realistic tablet, and the Sideburn uses the Classics Hot Rod. I know the Classics Hot Rod, but oh yeah, the tablet Soundwave. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, that was wild. That thing was nuts. But I think it was like a tablet from like China or something. It was weird. Oh, the old U-Haul trucks don't have back windows. So strange. So strange. For the price of Tidal Wave, there should be a voice box with battle sounds and Tidal Wave, Tidal Wave. I mean, maybe. I mean, again, I can't really get behind voice boxes because we don't really usually get them in Canada because, like, even Metroplex, all he has is his transformation sounds. He doesn't have any of the words because in Canada it would have to be in English and French. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. U-Haul, Hoist. We go down here a bit, and I know I'm skipping over some stuff, guys. It looks just like it will transform like the Beast Wars Neo version. The problem with the Neo version was some tabs and the turn down head tolerances were too heavy. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people have talked about that. I think for Magmatron, if they haven't absolutely nailed the way that he joins together to be very, very solid, I think you're going to have a major problem. Because if we buy this and it isn't super solid, I think that it's going to be a huge black eye, not only on the character, but on all of the hype that Mark has been giving this, because he's been hyping Magmatron like crazy. It got to deliver. It really got to deliver. You're missing Bumblebee movie, Cliffjumper, and Optimus Prime. Good luck getting them. I would probably, at this point, I would probably get the KO of Optimus. There's a KO of that Studio Series 38, and that's probably your best bet to go. I'm a big Toyota nerd, so I would pitch anything that has anything to do with them as a Transformer. Fair enough. Transformer that turns into an Echo. Remember Echo? Remember an Echo? They were something. They were a thing. I owned one of those for a while. Then my ex-wife smashed it. And yeah, that was the end of that. Nice and cheap, though. Cheap on gas. Cheap car payment. Was pretty good. What's a Jedi's favorite car? A toy Yoda. That's pretty good. As we go down here, babe. Let's see. I won't get the B and the Starscream, but I will get the Soundwave because he is superior, says Blue. Well, you'll have to get the Optimus then, too. Although I've only heard good things about that Optimus. Super Robot Ed, input, reviews, and customs. I'm doing an open invite live stream. This is coming from Ultra Megatronus, by the way. An open invite live stream on Saturday at 9 p.m. if interested. I assume that's Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I appreciate it. Your 9 o'clock is my 10:30, so it depends on where I'm to on 10:30 on a Saturday night, if you know what I mean. Sometimes I come in, though. You wouldn't know this, Ultra Megatronus, but sometimes I'm there. I don't talk, but sometimes I'm there watching a little bit. I can't stick around for no 3 hours because that'd be like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm there for a little bit, you know? I'm there for a little bit, and I'll listen a little bit. I don't think I say anything, but I listen a little bit. I'm always lurking around somewhere. In order to get the correct Target Master, you have to buy the Legends Top Spin. I don't know which Target Master that you're talking about there, Ed, but yeah, I know they all came with Target Masters. I don't know which one came with Top Spin, I should say. According to science, it's an Odyssey. I don't know. I'm still looking for 86 Snarl. I haven't seen any more. I mean, if I see one Grimlock gone, I'll let you know. But it's been a while since I've seen a Snarl. What happened here? Where am I? There. Jay says he doesn't think that Tidal Wave is too big, but he actually is. Like mathematically, he actually is wildly too big. He's a boat. I'm sorry. And before you get on and say, yeah, but it's an aircraft carrier. They're like floating towns. It's a boat. He's not. I keep saying this every week. The Ark is not a Titan. The Nemesis is not a Titan. The Devastator is not a Titan. Predaking, not a Titan. Omega Supreme, not a Titan. Black Zarek, not a Titan. Grand Max, not a Titan. Though they have Titan releases, they're actually not. If you look at the scale charts, if you look at the animation, if you look at them compared to the actual 4 Titans, there's only 4. Fort Max, Scorponok, Triptychon, and Metroplex. That's it. Nothing else is a Titan. They might call it that. They might be big. But those are the only 4 base/cities. Nothing else is. Everything else can land on a city, can land on a base, but they're not. They're just not. You could sell it, you can spin it, you could twist it. But if you actually look at the animation, Starscream comes up to, I done this math a while ago. Starscream comes up to, I think it's the thigh, knee, something like that, of Tidal Wave. Starscream in that line was a deluxe. In the Energon Starscream comes up to Tidal Wave's knee. That's a deluxe. That means a deluxe should come up to Tidal Wave's knee. That would fall in line with Commander class, not Titan class. Titan class of deluxe should not come anywhere close to the knee. So I understand why you're saying it, but he is actually, like mathematically, he is too big as a Titan. Hey, Terry. That is 01 Studio Cell. Magnificent. The dude turns from a ball and turns inside out to become a robot. The engineering's insane on it. We got an Ultra Magnus at a Commander price point. We did. Snarl is a Steggy. Yes, saw. I've been skipping a lot too. I got to skip a lot, and they're putting too much out. Like the stuff that was supposed to be in January and February all came out within a week of one another, right after Christmas. Like, okay, cool for you, I guess. I can barely watch Transformers animated with the human villains. That's a shame because animated is. Some of the human villains are not great. I'll give you that. But overall, the arc and stuff in animated is so brilliant. And that Megatron, those Decepticons are so good in animated, especially Megatron. I love him. Let's see here. A lot of you guys talking to each other, which is fine because that means I can skip a lot of stuff. I see what you're doing there, a gold mine to buy Hasbro products. Everybody needs a gold mine because they are overcharging insane amounts. If you only knew what stores were paying for the wholesale, if you only knew what Hasbro sells their products and makes a profit on at wholesale, and then you go to Pulse and you see that they're selling it for retail, the markup is nuts. Nuts. It is crazy how long I agree with your friends. It is crazy how long it took them to make a decent Galvatron. Toy over tune. I see that input. You're not right. Cartoon is king. We all know there's a shirt about it. What? I want to collect the CW Rook moles. Yeah, oh yeah, you were already saying that to me. Something is a lazy eyebrow question to ask. I'm not sure what it is though. Caldeo is brought up there. Wouldn't necessarily call myself a toy accurate guy. I prefer animation accurate for most, but I have some exceptions, like Tidal Wave, I guess. Getting the fam ready for spring. Got a ton of eggs. Ready for spring. Sure, winter's just getting going, boy. I like Transformers that have accurate transformations to the show. Interesting. I need more cowbell. I sure do. There were also the USB Ravage. That's the USB Ravage is still my Ravage. I would never use it as a USB because I'm pretty sure that it's a KO, and I'm pretty sure that USB is full of malware. But man, oh man, what a great Ravage. The T-top version is rare. It exists, but I never had it. Let's see. Do you really even do electric sounds? No, they don't really do electric sounds and lights anymore. Hey, Timmy. The Echo would be a throttle bot. Oh my goodness, the Echo would be a throttle bot. The Echo could be, and so could the Yaris. The Yaris could be a throttle bot too. Input. How's the weather? Nothing great here. Snow squalls most of the day. Would a commander class big convoy be a good one to make? Yes, I think it would actually, to line up with Magmatron. I'd be okay with them being leader class, but I think commander class is probably best for a big convoy. Prime is one of my favorite shows, mine too. Animated was like Captain America. I don't know what you mean there, but okay. Animated is a lot of fun. Yeah, it is. 3 different Prime teams to make. Okay. Just woke up from a nap. Well, I'm glad you're here, Ash. Hope it was a good nap. Okay. The trivia. Holy smokes, we were a long time going through that. Okay, the trivia. Are you ready, folks? Here is the trivia. One figure that I never found was Breakdown, just to complete the Legacy Menasor. I mean, Breakdown is not good. I'm not a huge fan of the Legacy Menasor, but I hope you find them if you are. Here is the trivia. Listen up. In the 86 movie, how many Lithonians survive Unicron's attack? Is it A1, B2, C3, or D4? And their names. Or his name. Or her name. We have a 2. We have Wake Up Ash. F, of course, input says F. I missed animated. I got animated. EA1. A Kranix. Okay. I like that Ed is the one who done both things that I asked for. Kranix B. Yeah. Okay. 2 says Big M. 1, 2. And the answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B. 2 Kranix and Arbless. And it's very interesting. So a couple of things about this, because it came up this week. Somebody asked, who was the guy who gets fed to the Sharkticons? And I said a nondescript Lithonian. Actually, I said a nondescript bot. And somebody said, obviously, someone doesn't watch Transformers the Basics. And I said, I don't actually. And I haven't. I respect McFeely. I know he has a ton of knowledge and does a bunch of research and stuff. It's just, I've never really needed to go and watch them. And I said to the guy, I said, if you mean Arbless, then I would still say nondescript because I don't even think he has a line. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So, okay, the Lithonians in the early script were supposed to actually be rock creatures, which harkens a lot to the Infernac universe. And Kranix was actually supposed to be named Granix as a play on granite. And it's been postulated that maybe Arbless was going to be Marbless with the M in front of it based on marble. But that's more conjecture and a joke than anything else. Also, when they changed from being rock creatures to being robots, apparently they have a spaceship alt mode and actually do transform. Who knew? And in very early scripts, people who said A1 Kranix, you would have been right, because there's, when they're leaving, there's one character who gets pulled back in Unicron's maw, and a lot of people thought that that was Arbless. In fact, for a long time, Arbless was called the last one who died. and Kranix was called the only one to survive. But that's not exactly true based on the way it worked out. So there's a lot there. But yeah, two, Arbalest and Kranix, who are supposed to be Granix. We're going to pretend Marvelous. Maybe the Infernac universe, maybe they're Lithonians. Who knows? Who knows? And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us now to the unboxing, and then we can get out of here. The unboxing is this great big gigantic thing, and you can see there what it finally is. Now let me tell you the story about this. Since last Thursday, I told you guys last Thursday that I reached out to Hasbro and said, how long am I supposed to have to wait to get my Deathsaurus? And they never replied to me. And I reached out again, and they never replied to me. So I direct messaged them and said, this is kind of ridiculous. A lot of people got theirs, and the UK are just getting their emails now. Mine was supposed to come from, I guess, the US or whatever. I have had to actively, for about a month and a half, actively try to avoid information because your rollout was atrocious. And I find it offensive that I've had to wait this long. If you're going to pre-order, crowdfund a project, whoever handles the logistics of your distribution needs to distribute this in a much more timely fashion to all people who back it. In this case, 27,400. I'm not blaming you, but this is a concern that needs to be escalated to the people that make these decisions, please. So they said that they were going to hand it along to their logistics team. They also said they were going to look into my order, and wouldn't you know, as if by magic, an hour later I get an email saying that it's left the warehouse. I'd like to know how long I would have had to wait otherwise. And then I got the tracking number that said it was going to be here by that Friday. And lo and behold, the 12th, it actually showed up. Now, currently, currently I have him like this. And I'm going to tell you now, the mass here is impressive. There's a lot here that's impressive. But because of the lackluster garbage distribution rollout, whatever score I give this guy is going to have to be mitigated by the fact that I was so bittered having to wait so long. By the way, Input, you have the MMC version. I could tell you now, this is great, but if you have the MMC version and you're wondering, I wonder what the HasLab one is like in comparison, fear not. As good as this guy is, and he is quite good, if you have the MMC version, you're fine. You are absolutely fine. I'm sure you already knew that. I have no doubt that you already knew that. But if you've wondered about the comparison, man, don't even go comparing. Your MMC is spectacular. He's spectacular, but so is the MMC. Really, really is. They're both quite excellent. It's just the rollout is so bad. The mass on this guy, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Patrons, channel members, I am going to give you guys my first impressions of this guy. And next week, we're going to do the review of him because tomorrow's review is going to be Thundertron. Now, I do have a couple of other new items, but we'll save them for next week's unboxing. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time, man. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring or course. Hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, baby. Have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for 1 second, that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you guys right there, each and every one of you, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams right here on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way inside the videos. Bye.